Story. So we first learn about Vault 111 in the very first quest of the game. The Vault Tech representative comes to the door, we fill out our information, and shortly after, the bombs drop. So, let's get into it, ladies and gentlemen. So, I thought it would be definitely a really interesting thing because a lot of people do not do this vault. I've noticed. A lot of people are like, oh, well, there's not much to it. Well, you know what? There is a lot to it, and let's get into it. Alright, let's get into it. I cannot wait to show you guys some information I found out about this vault doing research and just picking around in the terminals. There's a lot of interesting little information here. Let's get into it. So this vault's not a spacey vault, which is surprising. I would think this vault would be the big vault, but it's actually not. Let's go ahead and get into it. So we can come in here. You can unlock the cryolator, but it is a master lock case. Nice. So don't forget to pick that up, ladies and gentlemen. Before we read that terminal, let's get into the vault. So if you guys are new to Vault, to basically the Vault series, basically what I'm trying to do is I'm going through all the vaults in Fallout 4, including DLC and non-DLC, all the vaults. So let's go ahead and get into it. So the first thing we're going to do is, for those of you that may not play Fallout, we're going to go ahead and get into it. I'm going to show you guys what the cryopods look like, so you guys kind of have a basic understanding. We'll get to that terminal in a minute as well. I think we just made a pig circle. Alright, no we didn't. Right here. So, we first come into here. Everything's new. This is our pod. And then this is, for my character, I am a female, so of course this is the husband of this character. So, let's get into it. So, as you can see, this is cryo. It's a cryopod. And basically, what these do is... Anyone? Let me finish a character. Alright. So basically what these do is, as you can see, they freeze people. And it's supposed to freeze them, and they're supposed to survive. But as we see here, something happened. Could the Institute have came in here and totally knocked down the life support but only left it up for one pod, in our pod? We don't know. But one thing we do know is, when we first start the game, Sean is in here with the husband and the husband ends up getting shot, and Sean's taken by Kellogg. Now, for those of you that are not used to playing Fallout or don't play Fallout a bunch, I'm not going to say what happens next because I don't want to spoil anybody's gameplay or playthrough. So we clearly know these cryopods they just freeze you. That's pretty much it. Nothing too fancy about them. So let's get in the first terminal, which I think was over here. Yes, it was. Let's see if we can find out anything. Alright, let's see what we have here. Suspended animation. So, for those of you that don't know, suspended animation is the temporary cessation of most vital functions without death. So, basically what we know is it's very vital, I guess, and they're doing research, and more Vault Tech. It's Vault Tech doing another one of their crooked research. They're doing more crooked research, like they always do. So we clearly know that suspended animation means that it is very minor and is not death. and that's good. So we know that Vault-Tec's not trying to use people as, I don't know, basically lab rats, if you want to say, test mice, whatever you want to say. They're not using them. They're not using people like they were. They're still using them, but they're using it for their good almost. So let's get into it more. So we clearly know right here that they're trapping people. Vault-Tec is trapping people again. Now, a lot of you may say, well, that could be the reason of a vault. Well, I beg to differ. I think it should be allowed. If you want to see the surface, you do. But at your own risk, and you have to sign something. That's personally what I think Vault-Tec should have done. But let's get into it more. So they're forcefully detaining people. It's very interesting. Let's go to staff duties. So, we clearly know here the research team is supposed to keep the vitals and everything in check and make sure everything's good in the life. Okay, what's this say? Life-saving intervention is only permitted if greater than 80% of residents' population has perished while in cryogenic suspension. Okay, so that's pretty interesting. We know that they're not really worried about the few that may die. But in this case, we're the only one left. Very, very interesting. So we know that they're doing more duties than what they're used to. We know that they're working on special things that they normally would not really do. Because as we see in Vault 81, everyone's got a job. In Vault 81, everyone's got a job. And that's basically probably the best vault in the game. And here's why. Because not only is that vault very polished, but everyone is still there. Don't forget to go check out that video, ladies and gentlemen. I explained the whole video and why everything's happening. Alright. Let's get in the Overseer's Terminal. There again we see suspended animation. There again, suspended animation means the temporary cessation of most vital functions without death. So, that way you guys know if you get in this terminal what it means. So they're trying to do research without death. Now that's very unlike Vault-Tec. Usually they really could care less about the vault residents. All they care about is their research. That's strictly it. Long dreamed of making the cryogenic freezing available in a portable, on-demand form. Cryolator is the latest attempt. So a lot of what we're seeing in this terminal is the other terminal. This is basically exactly what's in the other terminals. Let's see what the Overseer has to say. So there again, we have another overseer that is clearly brainwashed by Vault-Tec. That this overseer is thinking, oh, everything's going to be good. Well, with suspended animation, it could be good. But we do learn that they're only supposed to resuscitate when the count of people get down to 80%. Then they can start resuscitating. So what are they going to do with the other half? They're going to do nothing with them. They're just going to die, and Vault-Tec's going to use them as experiments. But only Nordhagen. Could that be a direct reference to Nordhagen Beach? We don't know. So we know that there were things malfunctioning too, which is very interesting. Let's see. I wonder if we could find Pod C3. Have to keep everything under control until the all clear. Little does this guy know, this overseer, that the all clear will never be there. Now see, this is exactly why Vault-Tec picks the people they do. Because we know from this overseer that he's very brainwashed. Nope, will not open the vault. I will not surface ever. And that was a Vault-Tec saying, you know, surface never, vault forever. And we clearly know that Vault-Tec brainwashes these young overseers to where they will live in these vaults and they will die in these vaults. It is a very, very weird, twisted story. Why? Why would stuff like that happen? Why couldn't they come out with some plan where after so many years or so many days these people come out of the vaults? We just find out that Vault 81 released and was able, people were able to come in Vault 81 only just a few years ago. And this is 200 years after the explosion. Just a horrible, twisted Vault-Tec story. They meant well, and then it didn't turn out well. That was the full story on Vault 111, ladies and gentlemen. I know it was short. This was a very hard vault to get information on because there's not very much to it. I appreciate you guys